Hello everyone, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, wherever you are in the world when you're watching? A huge shout out to you. It's Saturday morning here in Australia. As you will know, if you're following the news, of course, in my state anyway, we can't seem to control the Delta outbreak. We're trying to get vaccinated with as much vaccine as we have access to, but that is limited. So, it goes on. One of the big themes of this reading, which I want to do on Lionsgate, the 8th of the 8th, 2021 portal, is around the Delta strain and what it is teaching us, but also there are other things at play as well. One of the biggest ones is Uranus in Taurus, which has been there in that position, in that sign of the zodiac since 2019. I've been searching astrologically, literally, to try and make sense of the energies that we're sitting in. You hear a lot about Neptune in Pisces and the illusion and delusion that we're operating under. But there was something more there. There was something there that it was like an itch that I needed to scratch. I think in one of my readings in the past, I said Taurus is ruled by Uranus. It was actually a Freudian slip. Taurus is ruled by Venus, of course, but Uranus has been in Taurus for most of this troubled period that we're in. And so, as I said, it was like an intuitive need to investigate what Uranus in Taurus actually means for us all. And it was when I started to do that I started to make sense of the energies that we're in. I can't say where we're going to be in the future, but at least I can see why we're here. So without further ado, let's get started on looking at the chart, and then I will pull from my star tarot to see if we can get a glimpse of where this might be leading us. I'm reminded that there's always hope, and we should never lose hope, because hope is the intention that sets our sails and charts our course. So it's not just this esoteric kind of concept of have faith when the chips are down. It's actually setting intentions. And I think that's a big part of what we're doing now. Let's just take a look at that Lionsgate, 8th of August, 2021, that Lionsgate chart. I have put it over Washington, as I do with a lot of my charts. I've just picked a time of day. Wherever you are in the world, the only thing that would change would be the houses. So I'll concentrate on where the planets are sitting, in what part of the zodiac, and those aspects, which is the oppositions, the conflicts, the conjunctions where you have a blending of energy, the trines, which are harmonious aspects, a little bit of help. We're getting a little bit of help here. In fact, I would say we're getting a lot of help. So let's just take a look at that chart. Okay, so this is, as I said, the Lionsgate, 8th of the 8th, 8th of August. Let me just outline to you what the actual buzz is around, this word, Lionsgate portal. You'll see a lot of readers being optimistic, I should say, being optimistic about the new energies that are going to come through at this time. And I'm joining them, but I'm still trying to be a realist and make sense of what is going on at the moment. So the Lionsgate portal, what is it? What is this thing we keep hearing about? It happens every year. It is an event that sees Sirius rising in the sky during the Leo season. Of course, the new moon is in Leo as well. So Sirius has been considered by some, or is known by some, as the spiritual sun. So on August the 8th, Sirius returns to the night sky. This is a time amongst, if we go back in history, particularly to the Egyptian time, the ancient Egyptian time, they believed that this particular event was a time of advancement and renewal. It's hard looking at what's going on now to see that that can be the case. And of course, I mentioned Albert Camus in my rather somber reading on August, which was my way of saying I'm having a little bit of an existential crisis here because I'm having a hard time reconciling what I see that is going on and the amount of work that needs to be done before we get to where we want to go. I have to mention also that scientists have released some information or some study, some evidence about the potential for the Gulf Stream, which of course moves our currents and guarantees the health of our oceans and a lot more. The Gulf Stream is indicating that it is in danger of failing. So between that and Delta and what we see going on in our political lives or politics, you know, you could be forgiven for saying or for thinking that we might be going to hell in a handbasket. I'm here today to show you that this is all part of growth, really. So back to Lionsgate, the 8th of August. So coinciding with this, of course, is the Orion constellation, which includes the Sirius star, which is said to align with the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, which some say then opens the Lionsgate portal. So that's really the background to it. You can I guess, welcome the opening of that portal. In numerology, of course, 8 and 8 is connected with abundance, but it's also connected with infinity as well. So I guess the bottom line with 888 Lionsgate is that it is a time of spiritual renewal, and part of renewal, the depth of renewal, comes about in adversity. I can testify to that. I'm happy to stand up in anywhere and say that during the periods of greatest adversity in my life have been, which of course was facing cancer and going through pretty horrendous treatment, which, you know, left me a changed person in terms of, you know, my energy, my autoimmune system, all sorts of things. I can stand there and say that during the greatest adversity is when we become, or we have the opportunity for spiritual evolution. So I wouldn't be doing this today if it wasn't for that cancer journey. So now that's the background on Lionsgate. Let's just look at this Uranus in Taurus. So I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't have a bigger arrow. This is Taurus here. It's a fixed earth sign. It can be tremendously resilient. So in a way, Uranus, which is the planet of rebellion, change, dynamic change, breaking things open. Think of the tower. Think of the tower in tarot. Then you've got an idea of what Uranus energy can do. Now, in a way, we're probably lucky that it's in Taurus. That Taurus can actually withstand what Uranus is trying to do. And what is Uranus trying to do? It's trying to move us forward. Just as an indication, the last time that Uranus, it takes 84 years to circle the sun, which means it stays in one sign for approximately 7 years. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was from 1934 to 1941. What happened during that time frame? We had a Great Depression and we had the Second World War. So that gives you an idea. When I said the Tower card, I meant it. But also, again, coming back to what happens in adversity, this was the time in America that Roosevelt, your President Roosevelt, implemented the Social Security Act, which mandated that we as a society take care of our fellow human being, particularly in times of adversity. So that's kind of the energy that we're sitting in. So it's really important, as I said, I started out with hope and setting intentions here. But that's not to downplay or cover over the amount of work and the volatility that is, or the pace of change that we're undergoing. That's not to underscore any of that. But spiritual awareness, of course, is a big theme here. So Taurus, fixed earth sign, ruled by Venus, of course, absolutely ruled by Venus, as is Libra. So Libra, of course, being justice. So what are we doing when Uranus is in Taurus? We're reevaluating how we treat the earth. We're reevaluating our economic systems. We're reevaluating our attitudes to the way these systems are or are not working for us. We're also looking at this through a feminine lens because, of course, that is the energy of Venus. And it's interesting to see that Venus in this chart is sitting in Virgo. Uranus is here in Taurus, but in this chart, in the Washington chart, in the 6th house, meaning there is a lot of work to do. So one of the themes here is a lot of work to do. But our relationship with the earth is under the microscope at the moment, and it is shifting, already shifting. You know, in the US, we had their president driving around electric cars. In the last few days, I've had a lot of conversations with people who are moving toward away from fossil fuels and toward other forms of energy that don't deplete our earth. People are more aware today of climate change and the need to manage it. So while we see there's a lot of work to do, we also know, thanks to our scientists, thanks to what we call a democracy, civilized society, we also know what we need to do. So that brings me to the 9th house here in this chart. What is squaring this Uranus in Taurus square here up in the 9th house in this chart? Of course, is we've got Mercury, planet of communication, outer, inner communication, communications of all types, including social media. And we've got the sun and the moon here, all in Leo. So, and that with this hard square here to Uranus in Taurus. So Leo, of course, is self-expression. So we're looking at the way we express ourselves. We're noticing the big lie, if you like. And the big lie just doesn't cover the 2020 US election. The big lie is everywhere. And in fact, people are coming out now and saying, you know, people who don't have a conscientious reason for not being vaccinated via their health or other means, those that are resisting vaccination because they believe it's all a hoax. And here we have our Neptune in Pisces, squaring what? Squaring Venus here. So many who would say that COVID is a hoax would also say that climate change is a hoax as well. So again, lots of work to be done. But of course, this is around noticing the words and noticing their impact, noticing their consequences. And in Leo, also self-expression, but also Leo rules the 5th house of creativity. So, you know, I guess if you're thinking that it's all gloom and doom, you can go and search for the tremendous leaps forward that we're accomplishing at the moment in all sorts of ways, particularly in science, particularly in technology. What we need more of is this kind of energy, less of the this Neptune, Pisces, things not appearing like the ground moving beneath us all the time. But here we've got Virgo, Mars, the planet of action, Jupiter, opposite Jupiter, which is now in Aquarius, thank goodness, because Aquarius is that logic, but also innovation. Now, so the energy that we want expanded, that this astrological chart is showing. Virgo is one of the hardest working of all the zodiac signs. And so we're prepared to do the work, which is really heartening. And maybe that's what led me to my existential crisis, that I thought, no, we all think it's okay now. We think we don't need to do that work. And yet we know it's not. Well, no, we're all prepared to do that work. And thank you to my viewer who pointed that out, that we are prepared to roll our sleeves up and get things done. So the feminine energy is strong in this chart. Uranus in Taurus through a feminine lens. We've got the moon and the sun sitting in conjunction with each other, the blending of the masculine and the feminine, and that also coming through in this Mercury in Leo placement as well. So Leo, the lion, the strength of the masculine and the feminine, when we come together, when those energies are blended, the strength that comes through. So there's a lot to be optimistic about here in this chart, particularly if we go down to Pluto here, still in Capricorn, still, in the materialistic. Capricorn, of course, as I said, is much more than materialistic. It's also about leadership. So we've got this aspect here, Pluto, the planet of the soul. Many have lost their souls in their pursuit of power and money. But guess what? We've got this harmonious aspect up to Venus in Virgo, which is giving me heart. If I were to look at this chart, what can I take away astrologically that is optimistic? We're prepared to look at climate management now. We're prepared to manage the climate emergency. We're prepared to protect the earth by looking at new ways of doing things. And if you look at what happened in the US under the previous administration and their ties with fossil fuel countries, those countries that make gross wealth, gross as in gross wealth that is in the hands of a few, the ruling royals, you'll see their nexus with the Trump administration. But that's finished now. That's finished now. So this Pluto, the planet of the soul, is well aspected to Venus. We have Pluto well aspected to Neptune here and Pallas Athena, which is justice. In over Washington in this chart, in the fourth house, which of course is associated with the feminine. Chiron still in Aries, that's the wound, the healing of the masculine. So some of these same aspects are still in this chart, showing us that we are still in the middle of this evolution. Saturn squaring also Uranus in Taurus. This is a dynamic chart in itself. Saturn in Aquarius, logic, really with that square here to Uranus in Taurus. Uranus in Taurus to me in this chart is an anchor. In the sixth house of health, in this chart anyway, health and well-being and service, public service. it's like an anchor. So in a way, Taurus being resilient, determined, Taurians don't give up. So it's like they're doing us a favor by containing or holding that Uranus energy here while we go through these great changes. So here is where I get to the hope that when I look at this chart, it's astrologically hopeful that we have much going in our favor, not less in our favor. So we're confronting a very volatile period. Again, Uranus in Taurus wasn't the last time it was there was during the start of the Second World War and a Great Depression. We have Delta, we have climate change, we have political fascist thinking and illusion and delusion, creating of false narratives. We have social media, we have much there, a lot there that we need to work through to reform and make sure that we don't that we don't fail. So what is also hopeful about this chart is Uranus in Taurus, to me, including the Sun and the Moon and Mercury in Leo, this hard square there, is around that being creative. It's around the blending of those energies. Particularly, I go to our young people. It's almost like they have a presence here in this chart as an inner knowing of what needs to be done. So together we're doing it. Even the previous administration in America and those that are leading us down a very dangerous path all have a role to play. So I want to go to the tarot now, and I want to look at what is one optimistic pathway that this energy is going to lead us. So I'll just get out of this sharing, and we'll pull from the Star Tarot. As usual, I debated which to use, and of course the star in the tarot is around faith, optimistic intention, holding that, setting the sails as to which direction we move in. So I always pull a card, and I got Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune. Of course, Jupiter down there has moved from Pisces back into Aquarius. Okay. I just have seen so much light when I opened up for this reading. There are two pathways here, and there are endings as well. I keep throwing that death card. That's what unnerves me a lot of the time. But death can also mean the ending of a cycle. The two pathways we have to choose. We absolutely have to choose. Okay. And I think Delta is making those hard choices for us. Uranus in Taurus. That's probably where I want to go here. Like an anchor. Uranus in Taurus. It's like the slingshot. Okay. Uranus in Taurus. Where is it leading us? Uranus in Taurus. In Taurus, where is it leading us? Because I actually think that's the virus signature along with Neptune in Pisces. Three of Pentacles, having to work together to solve our problems, coming together. We can't do this unless we do. Let me bring the laptop down. These are very, very bright and vibrant cards. What is crossing us? What is the challenge? And that is the temperance energy balance. Of course, we know that temperance is at the basis of everything, that we need to bring forward that balance. And I do feel that's the balance between the masculine and the feminine. When we get that right, and I do feel we are on that pathway, gestating something new, I really do believe that, that's when we're going to be healed. And the star card, let's just meditate on that. Number 17, the self. What is being healed? The self. What is being healed? The self. There's the light. There's the portal. If you want to look at the Lionsgate portal, it's healing. It's a chance to heal the self. Okay, let's see what else is happening here. In the past, we had that new start, that's fire energy. As I said, the greatest spiritual evolution comes in adversity. What is in the sky? What is crowning this reading is the Five of Swords. Number 5 is about change. The energies of all the fires in the tarot are not easy. This is about abusing our power, but this isn't just about our politicians being abusive, or past politicians or present politicians abusing, or leaders abusing their power. This is about recognition of abuse of power, not just in others, but in the self as well. And again, if we have the blending of the masculine and feminine, we have balance. So that is what is crowning this reading. The Two of Cups coming together, unity, again, the blending of the energies here. It's about the new starts that we're entering into. Sun and water energy here, the moon and the sun. Expression. The Queen of Swords in the here and now. This Aquarius energy brings forward not just truth, but it brings forward wisdom. And I was hoping, I always have a bird symbol that Spirit will give me to know that I have a connection with Spirit. Today, I was hoping for a dove. I thought they're going to give me a dove. No, they gave me an owl. This is about wisdom, truth leading to wisdom. The energy around is the Eight of Wands. And this is what I have to say. This is what is so unnerving, is the pace of this change. The Eight of Wands is like meteors coming out and hitting us. It feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like we're being bombarded with critical events, critical decisions, critical catastrophes. It feels like we're being bombarded, but these are acting as meteors, literally, to wake us up to what is needed, the truth. This Aquarian energy here. This is also Libra, air energy, Libra, justice. Justice. What is in the hopes and the fears? We've got the Six of Swords. We actually probably are all having an existential crisis of faith, because we fear that we can't move out of these troubled waters. We fear that we can't, but we should not lose hope. And I think if that is the message of this whole Lionsgate reading of mine, because readers will bring forward different energies, is about this star card in the tarot. This is about letting the light in. This is about the balance. This is about holding a mirror up to ourselves and looking at our fears. Fears can put a block in things. And I guess at the basis of my existential crisis was fear that we couldn't move out of these troubled waters. But I have renewed hope. There is a sunrise here. And these cards, that's a whale image. Of course, killer whales have not been known to take fishermen, people stranded at sea. They've been known to take the boat into calmer waters. Not losing hope, not losing an intention to move forward, to heal. That's really what hope is, intention. And intention is a very, very powerful energy. It is manifestation energy. The high priestess connection to spirit. Using your own intuition is so important. Connecting with this spiritual side of you, looking to the unconscious collective as well for signs of healing in the collective unconscious. Which way is that boat heading? I'm reminded that this energy is healing. The Queen of Swords energy is healing. The Hanged One. We are going through one thing after the next is because this is part of the process of spiritual evolution. Adversity is part of the process of spiritual evolution. And it's like you're stuck, the Hanged Man. It's like you're stuck in that position. This is a deity, by the way. You're stuck there as you have to walk through that adversity to come out the other side. I'm glad I drew those cards in the outcome position. The Moon, the feminine. What is civilized and what is not. There is a wolf on one side, a dog on the other. What is civilized? What is not? There is that image of the pyramids here as well, a path up or a mountain up. So this could be the Lionsgate portal, the Moon, 1-8, the Moon. So that's an important card. The Moon, of course, is an upsurge of emotion. The Moon is about things coming to the surface. So I said in my August overview reading, something will come to the surface in August and it will be big. One way or another, it's expect the unexpected here is what this is telling me. One more, please. The Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter in Aquarius, expansion energy. Things are changing. Things are changing, but by no means the other aspect of this is that we have a certain amount of luck on our side. A certain amount of help, divine help. Two of Wands, crossroads. Crossroads, pathways. Which pathway are you going to take? Because the personal responsibility is in your choices. What choices are you going to make? The Lover's card, the Devil card, transforming hate, moving toward that position. If you can't control the anger, then at least be an objective observer and see how you feel, because you'll transform that devil energy, that toxic energy, that being chained to something. The Queen of Pentacles, abundance. Two queens, feminine energy. Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, earth and fire. Taurus and Leo. Balancing. There's our lion there. Balancing. The Temperance energy and the Star. If we can channel those two energies, we'll get out of this. We'll get out of this quicker. All right. I'm going to leave that there. This is Saturday, my day off. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, I should say, and listening, and keeping that intuitive ear open, because I guess if I had to summarize that reading, I would say there is a tremendous opportunity for connection with spirit, connection with your spirituality. What that spirituality means to you will be different, but you have an amazing opportunity to connect with that now. So again, thank you. And I will be back again with another reading soon. Thank you.